Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Atypical Security Guard here with Echelon Private Security. We're going to be talking to the National Director of Training, Michael Bock, and we're going to be going over what's commonly known as Narcan. So if you want to just give a quick background to the people of what you've done before, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Michael Bock. Like you said, I handle the training here at Echelon.
Yep.
I've been an EMT for, close to 20 years now.
Wow.
And that's been both in a hospital setting and then kind of out in the wild. I worked at a local hospital for 8 years or so, and so a lot of the interactions and experiences I've had have drawn from that. But yeah, I've kept my licensure and I use it to educate and help others now.
And we're very happy that you're here and you're helping us with this. So
Sure.
For the common person who has heard of Narcan, it's something that's in the news and it's kind of talked about a lot with the opioid crisis. What can you tell us about this?
Yeah, well, it's a brand name.
Okay.
Really. The real drug is naloxone.
Okay.
And you can give it in a variety of different fashions. The method that I choose to teach and choose to distribute as much as possible is the nasal spray. It's the safest. It doesn't require a needle. You can draw it from a needle and use it in another way with a syringe, but for the lay person, this is the cleanest, it's the safest, there's the lowest risk possible.
Okay.
And we can do the most good with it in the condition that it's in.
So I see 3 different boxes here.
That's right.
And they all have different colors. I'm
Sure.
assuming that means something. So.
Well, obviously Narcan is, kind of the brand name that everybody's most familiar with, right? It's 4 milligrams. It comes from it's a nasal spray, and it's packaged individually like this. So you would give out these one by one to use. A non-brand or the off-brand generic version is just naloxone. It's essentially looks the same. It's packaged very similarly. It's not as red when packaged, but again, apples for apples, because the drug that you're actually after is naloxone. Okay. Then there's Cloxedo. Cloxedo is 8 milligrams. This is still a nasal spray. Again, higher dose of naloxone. It has been shown through some research lately to promote withdrawal symptoms, which is not positive. And so we've kind of shied away from its use as much and generally using 4 milligram doses out in the field.
So the average person that doesn't, live in Portland and doesn't see this very often, they're probably thinking to themselves, what exactly does this do? So can you kind of give us a breakdown of why you would be utilizing this and under what circumstances?
Yeah, sure. So what happens is when someone ingests an opiate, regardless of the type, it could be a tablet or it could be smoking fentanyl or what have you. You can imagine the receptors in your brain sticking out kind of like a basket like this, okay? And if imagine the opioid came along and it fit into the receptor like this, okay? So take a fist for me and stick it down in here, boom, okay? Now that receptor connection has occurred, the body starts to experience the symptoms of the overdose. The sleepiness, the droopy eyes, the shallow breathing, and if this gets severe enough, it can cause death. So the receptor is connected to the opioid in the body. Now, when naloxone comes along, it comes along and actually has a greater affinity for that receptor. So it boots it out of the way and sits into the receptor. When that occurs, normal breathing is restored, normal function's restored, and everybody all of a sudden believes that the person is revived.
Right. And I've seen that working in the field where someone's unresponsive, they're showing the symptoms of overdose, and then we administer the Narcan, and then this person seemingly kind of just springs up. Almost.
Sure, yeah, the effect can be very quick, but that's person dependent. It's dependent upon how much of an opioid that they have taken. There's a lot of factors that go into that. But you're not out of the woods yet. The trick here is that the problem is really called half-life. The drug, naloxone, burns off faster in the body than the opioid does. So when the opioid is floating around like this, and I still have that connection here, the person is effectively appearing sober. Then what can happen is in a severe addict case, if that opioid then is still in the system after the naloxone has been digested, burned off, metabolized, you can experience yet another overdose.
So for the person who maybe needs this broken down a little bit more, I've experienced this in the field, seeing someone who's been given Narcan. They seemingly, I don't want to say resurrect, but kind of spring back to being what we would consider normal.
Right.
And then within 5 to 10 minutes, you see this person.
Again, the time frame is going to be
relative.
It's there, right? It's not exactly 5 minutes. There's going to be a period of time. It can be a half an hour. It could be longer than that. Again, some of this time period is sort of hard to predict. How much opioid do they have in their system? Are they a regular user? How much Narcan or naloxone or Cloxeto was given? All of these factors sort of play into this sort of unknown. The trick is when that's the case, is that you're not out of the woods yet. So every single person who administers the life-saving drug should be calling 911.
Okay.
And the reason for that is there's a whole bunch of reasons for that. And the first would be that you want to make certain that they get the medical care that they need.
Absolutely.
You could be wrong. Some symptoms mimic an opioid overdose. There could be some other things going on medically. And if that naloxone were to wear off and the person were to overdose again, say half an hour later, you'd want that medical care there to be there for them. So we always call 911 regardless of what the person is experiencing and the symptoms that we see. We leave that up to the person to refuse medical care or that medical call to be diverted to another emergency.
So we're in 2025, not to date the video, but we live in a very litigious society, and a lot of people that I've talked to are kind of hesitant to administer Narcan in a situation or circumstance like that because they don't want to be sued.
Sure.
So what are the safeguards that would keep a Good Samaritan?
Well, yeah, you said it. It's the Good Samaritan Law.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Tell us about that.
The Good Samaritan Law has several components that protect everybody engaged.
Okay.
First, it's that it's care given under emergency circumstances that suggest that if you don't act, the person will suffer greatly.
Okay.
That's the loose interpretation of the law, but it's actually medical or dental circumstances that are emergencies, like go figure, right? That's how it's written. But it's under those circumstances that suggest that if I don't intervene, this person could suffer serious medical consequences or die.
Okay.
So the Good Samaritan Law doesn't cover bumps and bruises and boo-boos. It covers life-threatening emergencies, which this certainly is. The second aspect of the Good Samaritan Law is that you can't save someone's life and then turn around and say, that'll be $20.
Okay.
You can't bill them for the services or the equipment or any of that later. The third is that it's care, and it's given in a place where professional medical care is not readily available.
Like the street.
The street, a baseball stadium,
okay,
a grocery store. But a clinic, urgent care, a hospital, a doctor's office, all of those places have professional care readily available.
Understood.
Additionally, though, professional medical care becomes readily available when the paramedics arrive.
So if you're administering Narcan and the EMTs show up or the paramedics show up or even law enforcement shows up,
take their direction.
Take their direction, do as they say.
Exactly.
So
there's one more piece that we're missing. Yeah, the last piece is that you can't be sued unless it's alleged and proved that what you did was grossly negligent.
Okay.
And that's, that is a component of it, but given these circumstances, the risk is so low, go save lives.
So we have 3 brands or examples here on the table. Right. Is one better than the other? Is one more expensive than the other? What are your thoughts just in terms of practicality of carrying these 3?
The price varies. They're all about the same size. We get it donated to us through a variety of locations. The first would be for me to say is I personally prefer the 4 milligram dose. Years ago, that wasn't the case.
Is that going to be this one?
Yeah, this one and this one right
These
now.
2.
Yes. Okay. 8 milligram is a hard-hitting dose, and it can cause some withdrawal symptoms. The effectiveness of it has been shown that it's about the same, apples for apples.
Okay.
And then, of course, the peak serum is a little bit quicker, so there's no free lunch, essentially, right? But effectively, they're all the same size, and I would use them all interchangeably.
Now, for a lot of people that are watching these videos and potentially not living in areas where opioid use is quite as prevalent as it is here in Portland, should they carry something like this? Should they think about having this readily available if they come upon some situation? Or is this something that maybe you don't need to have in your
absolutely. The environment and the culture that we're in right now is definitely that. I mean, again, we're in Portland, Oregon, so this is something that we're dealing with on a daily basis. The guards that are working for Echelon have saved a countless number of lives. I can't tell you. I mean, each month the number's 20 or 30. I can't keep track of it all.
Absolutely.
It's happening so frequently. And in fact, it's almost like it's a guarantee that it's going to happen. If you're a new hire here, it will occur. That said, in other parts of the country, it's not as prevalent, right? But I would still have it available. This is still something that may be more difficult to get depending upon the location. Again, I haven't traveled the country a lot lately, but if it's not readily available for you, I'd figure out how to make that happen, because knowing the way things go, opioids have been here a bit.
Yeah.
And
they don't seem to be going
anywhere. Yeah.
Any final
Unfortunately.
thoughts?
Yeah, this is a life-saving drug, and a lot of people have suggested that that this may be enabling the behavior. And the first thing I would say to that is, if this were a family member of yours, I would want someone to save their life. So before we get critical about somebody else who is suffering with this brutal addiction, put your heart in their shoes and their mind in their eyes and all that, and be able to see what it is that they're seeing and going through, and understand that, look, we want to keep you around. You're valuable. You're a human being. There's only one of you. And let's deal with this addiction later. Let's keep you around long enough to see that occurs. So I don't buy into the whole argument. I would prefer that that we equip each other to help one another's children, brothers, sisters, and family members to be around, because the stories of recovery are wonderful motivators.
We'll leave it at that. Michael Bock, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.